Hi everyone, my name is Daniel Dalmolin and I'm a financial advisor at Global Financial Consultants here in Singapore. Today's video, I have a discussion about budgeting for 2024. So welcome back everyone. Back to work for the new year. We managed to have a few weeks off in Sydney. Little one is back at school already, wife's back at work, and ready to start a new year. The first topic of the year I'd like to discuss with everybody is a little bit about budgeting. We are almost the end of January and credit card bills will start to come in. The expenses from December have started to come in. So maybe the first step is to pay those off and get them out of the way. So if you missed my last video on budgeting, we did go into some details. I think that was in last November, but let's just run through again and we'll go into a little bit more detail now. I think end of January is a good time to start a budget. Basically, you have an idea of what expenses you'll incur during December. Hopefully your salary is coming in soon and you can clear those out of the way. The main success factor, or one of the main success factors in budgeting, is to have a reason for your budget. So I think if you just have an idea that, hey, we're going to budget, maybe that might not get a lot of people across the line. But if you say, hey, I'm going to budget because end of the year I want to put away $10,000 or $50,000 towards a savings, towards my pension, towards future retirement income, that's a good reason, probably get you across the line. First step for budgeting is the idea that you pay yourself first. So when you get your wages here, and the first payment you should make is the amount that you're going to put away for yourself, or you pay yourself first is what they call it. That means that you take 10% of your budget and you put it aside. Either you invest it, you save it, put it into a fixed deposit, or do something with it, but take it out so that the 90% balance is then what you spend on your actual expenses for the month. Rather than most people, they pay off all their expenses and then they try to save what's left over. So we're going to invert that a little bit. In general terms, I always say step 2 is to pay your rent or your mortgage and pay all your utility bills, the stuff that you need to get you through the month: electricity, telephone, StarHub, Netflix, all those fixed costs, get them out of the way next. The next big expense for most households is a grocery budget. So generally I advise my clients that for groceries, put a budget what you think you need to get through the month into a separate bank account, or open a separate bank account, request a debit card, and pay those monthly expenses, grocery expenses and food expenses, out of that credit card. So it does two things. It gives you an idea of, hey, how much am I really spending per month on groceries? And the other thing is it avoids putting groceries onto a credit card, because groceries are a big portion of your expenses in the month. And you don't want the credit card companies to be charging you interest on that expense. My next suggestion is to pay off your credit cards. Have a look at your credit cards. How much can you pay off this month? And get those credit cards down, because without you realizing, credit cards do creep up. We all end up with a large balance and it takes a long time to get rid of. And following this suggestion is how much of your expenses can you swap over to debit cards? So try to get your monthly expenses over onto a debit card. That means you're putting forward, you're actually spending today's money on your expenses rather than spending future money through a credit card. So how much of your expenses can you swap over onto a debit card? Now, I'm not saying that you should be paying your holidays, etc., out of your debit card. Yes, that may be a point. If you book a holiday for Christmas, you book and pay for it 6 months ahead, use the credit card. But then by that time, you have a chance to pay that expense off before you take the trip. And taking a holiday on a bill that's already paid off, you've already paid the holiday expenses, feels a lot better than thinking about getting a bill in January for your holiday expense. The final point I'd like to make tonight on this video is don't run the budget too tight. If you run the budget too tight, where at the end of the month you're coming out with no money, it becomes a disincentive to keep the budgeting going and to keep the planning going. So don't run it too tight. Make sure you've got an extra 5% end of the month to pay any incidentals or other stuff you haven't thought about, and keep the budgeting going. Let's see how we can get to the end of the year, have that Christmas expense paid off earlier, and swapping all your expenses over onto a debit card rather than a credit card, and pay yourself first. So good luck out there, and if you need any help with your budgeting or any ideas to get you through this year, please reach out. Very happy to help anybody out there. I'll be around next week for another video. I hope to do these once a week this year with different topics that may be of interest. So any questions, my details are attached or below on this video. Happy to help, or give me a call. Thanks very much. See you.